bro.
I'm Jude, and I love the media industry in the UK. From TV to radio to social media, you name it. But there's one thing I'm still not seeing, and that's representation from ethnic backgrounds. I want to look into that and ask why. So I've decided to meet up and speak to some people in the industry about their experiences of being an ethnic member of society in the UK media industry.
We are in history as well, just a case of what do you want to show?
This is Prefer Not to Say. On the last episode, we spoke to Judith Jacob about her time on the Real McCoy. On this episode, she sits down with me to speak about the show in more detail and how the UK could help with the lack of diversity in the media industry.
I think there's lots of stuff that need to be revisited. We see lots of programmes. I mean, Dad's Army, it's probably older than me, and that still gets repeated. And we've got other shows that are comedy shows that are English, for a better word, and they get repeated quite a lot. But to get our stuff repeated, and it took a long time for the Real McCoy. First of all, they'd lost the tapes, couldn't find it, and miraculously, George Floyd got murdered, and then all of a sudden, we can find the tapes. So
Yeah, I can fully agree with that as well. And another question I have is, so you joined later on in the show, so what was it like to actually get the call to join the Real McCoy?
Okay, now I'd done a lot of work before I'd done the Real McCoy, so the excitement of joining the show is probably not quite the same anymore. But I was Terry. God, how can I forget Terry's surname? He was directing it. It will come back to me. Terry. Anyway, they just asked. They asked me and they asked Eddie if we would want to join the cast. We both of us were doing jobs. We had a bit of a profile anyway.
Yeah.
So they'd asked us if we'd come in. And originally when we came in, we only came in to do the pub scenes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how we came in, to do the pub scenes. And then after a while, they must have went, oh, but they are actors. They can probably do a little bit more than the pub scenes. And I think the first time that happened was because Mira wasn't well. So I was added into a scene because Mira wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
And then it must have clicked that, oh, wait a minute, we're not using these guys. And then we became fully part of the show.
I can't believe that. Like, I didn't know that would be the proper backstory to that, but what is your favourite scene, like, that you're in or anyone else is in from the actual show?
I'm going to choose two. I played this writer it was me and Eddie Nestor, actually, it was just us two in the scene, and she had been mugged, but she's a writer, so she wants to make everything a little bit more embellished. And so it was all like, yes, and then I was late at night and it was dark, and this man came out of nowhere. And then you've got Eddie being the policeman going, I don't believe a word you said. Now, if you want to, I'll tell you how. We are experts at lying, and I'll tell you how the story should go. So that's one of my favourites. And the other one was when I played the Dready Bar Kid, who it was a take on the Milky Bar Kid, but it was a Dready Bar Kid. And then when she smiled, all of her teeth was rotten because of all the bars that they're eating. Just little things in life that makes me happy, and that's one of them.
So I was reading up when the Real McCoy started, and I saw the lines outside Television Centre were long as anything. And from the episodes me and my brother could find on YouTube, the audience couldn't stop stomping on the floor and going, ooh, 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 ooh. So I want to know, what was the first day of filming like for you?
All right. I've had a live audience before. When we've done NoProblem, we had a live audience. But what I will comment on about the live audience is that we had Leo Muhammad played... how can I forget his character? I mean, my brain is just gone. But he played the character when he had these teeth and, oh my God, why can't I remember his name, his character? Anyway, if anybody's listening to this, they'll be going, how do you not remember who he was called? I don't know. Anyway, when they first showed him on the screen, the laughter and the cheering was so much, it felt like it could have looked like it was canned laughter. They had to do the scene or keep showing you him, I think about 4 times, so that and they were still laughing loud, but by the 5th time it wasn't sounding quite as strong as it did the first 4 times. So that was the beauty of having a live audience. They just so responded. to Leo's character. It's really annoyed me that it's not coming to me whilst I'm talking to you. Anyway, go on, yes.
I would love to see the first taping of that because I think that would have been so amazing to see.
Well, the thing is, I didn't come into the third series. So the first series was, you had Curtis Walker and Ishmael. And because they removed Ishmael and Curtis was why they'd replaced them with me and Eddie. So I'm sure the first one would have been quite something. But what you've noticed, Terry Jarvis, yes, it came to me, the director. He's an amazing man. He's done a lot of work, Terry Jarvis. So it's terrible that I forgot his name. But when he came in, and I believe he came in on the third series when we came in, you just saw the quality change. But Terry comes from this very American, sharp shooting, hit him in the face, and it showed when he came in. So I want you, as a challenge, to watch series 2 and then watch series 3, and then you'll see what I mean about the change of quality of how it started to appear.
I will definitely 100% do that. With all that you've said, what is your best memory from the show?
Probably my best memory would be when we had lots of laughs. And all right, this memory is going to be a weird memory because it's not actually the show itself, but the actors in the show. Now, I'm quite a robust person. I like fighting. I do martial arts, or I did martial arts. So I've done a lot of fighting arts. I've done Wing Chun, and I've done whaling, which I've done whaling before Wing Chun, which whaling was based in Wing Chun. And I've done kickboxing. So I like to have a rough and tumble with the boys. And they always didn't want to run and tumble with me because they thought, oh, behave yourself. So 3 of them would sit on me, take the tape that we marked the stage out on, the floor spacing out, wrap my legs, wrap my hands, and then leave me and go out the room and go and have their lunch. And
That sounds like you must have got so many laughs.
Oh, we did. I mean, I know it may sound quite cruel that they did that to me, but actually, I wanted to just have a fight. I wanted to just do a little fight, and none of them want to play fight with me, and so that was how they resolved the play fighting.
That's it.
The other one would be watching Felix. When Felix came, because Felix wasn't part. He was part of the show, but not part of the cast, how we rehearsed.
Yeah.
So he rehearsed separately to us.
Ah.
And we only got to see what he was doing on the producer's run when everybody was shown. The whole thing had to be done so cameras can check the shots and everything.
Okay.
And then we would watch it, and we'd be busting up watching his bit in the rehearsal. And you just keep thinking, oh, so he's Mr. Specialist. He doesn't even need to come and rehearse with us. He just gets his own rehearsal space and then comes and just tear up the place. So that's one of the other memories I take away.
Those sound like really great memories. And alongside that, who are your favourite characters on the show itself?
Oh, character on the show. Well, there's so many, but I think if I go back in time, I would probably say, because when Rodney King was beaten, that was the very first, to me, video of police brutality.
Yeah.
We've had 10,000 since then, but this was the first one. And to swing it on its head, and it became You've Been Tangoed, and because they were picking their nose in the car.
Yeah, I remember that one.
You remember it? I mean, they got beaten that You've Been Tangoed. To turn something that was really very serious and very painful and turn it on its head, but you still kept the ethos of what was being said. I think that Leo Muhammad is an amazingly funny individual that can make things that's very serious funny, as in Mira Sayal. They've just got a way of writing that can just it hits the edge every time. You're like, whoa, that's right on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an absolutely amazing story about the show. And with the way things are advertised now on television and on TV, films, adverts, do you think there needs to be more Black and Asian representation in these adverts? And how do you think companies should go around actually doing this?
Okay. At the moment, again, because of the murder of George Floyd, we are in adverts. I mean, I watch adverts like this. Whoa, oh, yay. I mean, come on, we brush our
Yeah.
teeth, we wash our face, we wash our hair, we can do
Yeah.
stupidness as well. Love it, absolutely love it. So in the advertising world, I think we're being represented.
Yeah.
In the television world, what I want is continuity, because in the 80s, there was the riots that had happened. And when the riots happened, it was deemed we should be seen. So we had all these programming, i.e. NoProblem was one of those stuff that came out of that. And there was a few programs that came on at that in the 80s. And then we were integrated, and then it wasn't necessary to have black programs because we would have a black person in this, a black person in that. So it's called being represented. And we're going back now into being represented. And I know there's a few programs that's been done because I didn't get any of them, but I went up for them. So I know that there are programs going to be coming out.
Yeah.
We are heavily represented in it. And what we need is continuity. So I would like in 4 years' time, we are not back to where we were when we got one person in this and maybe half a person in that because you just saw their face passing through. But we've built on it. And this conversation would be like, oh, isn't it great that you saw that program, that we saw this people was in it and being represented, because we are in history as well. And even if they want to talk about Victorian ages and then they think that we're not part of it,
Yeah,
we
it's
were
true.
part of it. It's just a case of what do you want to show? So that's what I want, continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such an amazing take on it. And thank you once again so much for just being able to do this. It's once again such an honour. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Jude. And I want to be able to hope that I can assist with people that are doing stuff like that. Because you're our future, Jude. And I want you to remember me.
Honestly, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That was a really interesting take from her to just hear her side of the story about how it took them so long to get the shows and all of that stuff, and her take on adverts as well. I found that really, really interesting.